We have all been there. That awkward moment when you need to discuss a sensitive issue, deliver a bad news, or confront someone about their behavior. These conversations can be nerve wracking, but they're necessary part of life. The good news is, with the right mindset and strategies, you can approach difficult conversations with confidence and skill. In this episode, we will walk you through a step by step process for mastering these challenging interactions and coming out the other side with your relationship intact. So, get ready to say goodbye to avoidance and hello to productive and growth oriented conversation. Today is the last episode of our theme effective communication, and it is a difficult one. Yes, managing or mastering the difficult conversations. This is my favorite subject. Actually, I normally uh, find this very stimulating and actually intriguing, that why somebody would not want to talk, uh, which is affecting life and the situation so much. Yes, it is hard, but it is necessary. As I said, we this is a human tendency that we try to avoid something which is hard but necessary, and then end up actually paying price for it. So, for example, take our health. We all know that eating all these snacks, wafers, burgers, pizzas, etc., 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 is not very good for us, but we still do. We know that if we eat all these things, exercising is must, but we avoid that, and then we end up either paying a heavy amount in gym or at the doctor or in hospital, and taking all those medicines to correct health. So why not address that hard thing right when it comes? And mindset matters. The first step to handle difficult conversations is getting your mindset right. Shift your perspective from seeing this interaction as confrontations to viewing them as opportunities for growth, connection, and problem solving. Remind yourself that you are having the conversation because you care about the relationship and you want to find a positive solution. And the first thing what comes to my mind, or what is my strategy, or probably the strategy of people who are not very afraid of having difficult conversations, is to prepare. The more prepared you are, the more confident and in control you feel. So, before the conversation, reflect on your goals and desired outcome. Gather any relevant facts or data. Anticipate the potential objections or reactions. Practice what you want to say out loud, because preparation helps you communicate clearly and stay focused when emotions run high. Since this is a difficult conversation, since the other person in a relationship, either in a professional or a personal setup, is important to you, the emotions may run high. Start with empathy. Set the tone for the conversation by leading with empathy and understanding. Validate the other person's feeling and perspective before sharing your own. For example, I know this is a difficult topic for you, but I really appreciate your willingness to discuss it with me. This may disarm the defensiveness and shows that you are coming from a place of care. And I'll be repeating the using I statements when expressing your concerns. Avoid sounding accusatory. So, for instance, saying I feel hurt when etc., 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 rather than you hurt my feelings when etc., etc., etc. This subtle shift puts the focus on your experience rather than blaming the other person. Listen actively. Difficult conversations are a two-way street. Make sure you're not just waiting for your turn to speak by practicing, uh, but you are actually actively listening to the person who is in front of you. Paraphrase what the other person says to confirm the understanding. Ask clarifying questions and avoid interrupting. Let them complete. Show you are fully present by maintaining eye contact, using open body language. Seek to understand. Even if you disagree with the other person's perspective, it's just a perspective. There is nothing wrong with that person. You don't have to be, that person doesn't have to be different from you. It's just a difference of opinion. So, even if you disagree with the other person's perspective, make an effort to understand where they are coming from. Ask questions to gain insight into their thought process and feelings. Avoid judgment and stay curious. The goal is to find common ground, not to prove you are right. If you go in that mode, you have already lost the battle. Collaborate on the solutions once both the persons have shared their perspectives. Shift the conversation to finding solutions. Brainstorm together, looking for win-win outcomes that address both people's core needs can be one way to bring some positive thing out of this. Be willing to compromise and get creative. The more you collaborate, the more ownership the other person will feel in the resolution. And on a positive note, wrap up the conversation by summarizing any agreements or next steps. Reaffirm your commitment to the relationship and express confidence in your ability to move forward in a positive way. Because it is a difficult conversation, some difficult or hard words uh, can be expressed, some hard feelings can be expressed, so you don't have to take it forward after the conversation. The main idea is to just revolve around the conversation, around the situation, and then find a solution, not take it forward and spoil your relationship or the rapport with the person. A little positivity goes a long way in difficult conversation. So be positive, and practice makes progress. And as we have discussed in our last episode also, like any skill, handling difficult conversations gets easier with repetition. Start small by addressing minor issues, and over time work your way up to more high-stake interactions. And remember, each conversation is an opportunity to learn and improve. We don't have any listener story today, so I'm gonna share something which I share in my training programs when we do effective communications or negotiating in professional setup. So we're gonna see some a concept, risk and reward of getting into a difficult conversation. So we use avoidance tactics because we anticipate a bad reaction or outcome. Before we start the conversation, we dread it. We focus on its risk and tend to overlook its benefits. It's better to make a balanced judgment before your conversation. Now, let's see what are its risks and what are its rewards, and do any of these risks and rewards apply to your situation. Reflect, see, practice if you get some tips from this. So, what are the risks? Personal embarrassment if the conversation goes badly. Okay. Uneasiness if strong emotions are shown, ineffectiveness if resistance given and no clear solution is found, burdened or overwhelmed if too much information is shared, incapability if the message is misunderstood, control is lost, and matters are made worse. Now, if you tend to focus on risk, think carefully what are the risks if you don't have the conversation. A difficult conversation can help you clear the air, find new solution to the problem. These are rewards. Improve teamwork or personal relationships, reduce the anxiety you feel because you are avoiding the conversation, improve your confidence, take control. There will be other benefits also specific to your context, but you making a start also can consider the possible benefits of not having the conversation. Trying REAP methods in difficult conversations. So most difficult conversations can be managed effectively using a simple 4-step process, that is REAP. R stands for research. First, try to understand the other person's starting position. Do they know why the conversation is happening? Stay open-minded at this point. Do not assume you know what the other person is thinking or feeling. E stands for empathizing. So work hard to sense the other person, what other person is feeling, how other person is feeling. Try to see the issue you raise from their point of view. State your position. That is A. State your position clearly and try to help the other person see your point of view. This will be much easier if you have been empathetic. And the last one is P. Problem solving approach. With the other steps now and the tips we have given, now you should be in a good posture, in a position to work with the other person to resolve whatever issues have arisen. Note that if further difficult problems arise, you may have to go back to earlier steps in the REAP cycle. Let's have some self-coaching questions. What difficult conversations have you been avoiding in your life right now? How can you shift your mindset to view these conversations as opportunities rather than threats? What specific strategies from this episode can you implement in your next difficult conversation? Who is a trusted friend or a mentor who can help you practice and improve your skills? Reflect on these questions, answer, and share it with us if you find something we can help you. Let's help each other together. Let's help empower together. And as we wrap up this episode on mastering conversations and our theme for the week, remember that these challenging interactions are inevitable in life, but they don't have to be feared. They don't have to be that hard to avoid and keep it under a rug. By approaching them with empathy, clarity, and willingness to find a common ground, you can actually turn them into opportunities for growth and connection. Apply all the tips we have given in the episode and focus on solution rather than problems. Remember, the goal is not to win an argument, but to find a resolution that works for everyone. With these skills in your toolkit, you will definitely be able to master the difficult conversation. Thank you for joining us in this week. And if you find this episode helpful, share it with a friend or a family member who could benefit from learning these strategies. Like, share, comment. And together we can all become more effective communicators and problem solvers. Stay tuned for more unique episodes like this in our podcast.